This is CBC Nova Scotia News.
Tonight, hurricane update. As Milton heads to the Florida coast, we have the latest on its path. Housing debate. CBRM mayoral candidates face off over how to help the homeless. And a Halifax first, HRM's new police chief is officially sworn in.
A chance for showers this evening into the overnight as this little wave pushes through. We'll see some sun on Thursday, but that chance for showers will stick around. Your full forecast is coming up.
Good evening. We have lived through Juan, we've lived through Dorian and Fiona, but what the people in Florida are facing right now is much, much worse because Hurricane Milton is a bigger and more powerful storm than that has ever pummeled Nova Scotia. Milton is just hours away from making landfall in western Florida. Top officials say the damage could be catastrophic after it hits late tonight or early tomorrow.
Winds will be fierce at well over 100 miles per hour, with storm surges reaching up to 15 feet and up to 18 inches of rain. It's looking like the storm of the century.
It would be the first hurricane in more than 100 years to directly hit the Tampa Bay area. 3.3 million people live there. Already, apparent tornadoes have touched down in parts of the state. Resorts and airports are closed, and the governor is warning that people in the path of the storm will likely lose power. And a cough. Of course, watching it all, Ryan Snoddon here in Halifax with the latest on the track as well.
Yeah, and that track is so critical. I mean, it is such a large and ferocious storm. Widespread rain, widespread wind, but the track is really key for the storm surge and who will see the most severe storm surge. And yeah, the latest, Milton is a Category 3, sustained winds near 200 kilometers per hour, and it is approaching that Gulf Coast now. And as you mentioned, Tom, we've had tornadoes today. We've already had damaging winds. Widespread heavy rainfall will continue. The widespread damaging winds will continue as well. It is, though, looking set now to make landfall south of Tampa. That's going to be key because that will likely keep the most severe storm surge just south of Tampa Bay. But boy, Sarasota down towards Cape Coral and Fort Myers really in the crosshairs here for that most severe storm surge tonight. We are going to be looking at that heavy rain and the widespread, very damaging winds to continue throughout the day on Thursday, all across, or at least most of the state, before it departs late Thursday into Thursday evening. Now, as we look at that storm surge map, and again, the update here, a little bit of relief here for the Tampa Bay area, given that track is shifting further south, but still up to 3 meters possible there. 3 to 4 meters, though, including Sarasota, Venice, down into the Port Charlotte area, Cape Coral, and down towards Fort Myers. So that is going to be the area that, again, up to 13 feet of storm surge, devastating impacts there. Look at how widespread the winds are going to be. Widespread gusts exceeding 120 kilometers per hour. 175 kilometers per hour in and around that Gulf Coast, and the widespread rain, 100 to 300 millimeters, locally 450 millimeters of rain. Just an incredible, powerful storm, Tom, and our thoughts are with folks in Florida tonight for sure.
Yeah, they sure are, and we'll have more on the storm a little later in the broadcast. Thanks so much, Ryan.
Thank you.
Well, one of the 4 teenagers accused of a brutal murder in Halifax this past spring has pleaded guilty to a lesser charge. The 14-year-old girl has pleaded guilty to manslaughter in the death of 16-year-old Ahmed Al-Marak. He was stabbed in a parking garage at the Halifax shopping center and died later in hospital. A 14-year-old boy and 2 16-year-olds are still facing murder charges. In exchange for the guilty plea, the Crown is no longer looking for an adult sentence for the girl, meaning her identity will remain protected by a publication ban. The case returns to court later this month. Mayoral candidates in the Cape Breton Regional Municipality came together for a debate last night. They discussed topics including taxes, housing, and economic development. But the biggest divisions came during discussion on what to do with people living homeless and hanging out at the Drug Harm Reduction Centre in downtown Sydney. The CBC's Kyle Moore has that story.
It was supposed to be a debate between 9 candidates, but before the event got underway, one of the candidates, Vince Hall, collapsed on stage. He was attended to by paramedics and taken out on a stretcher.
We are going to go ahead with the debate, and unfortunately, Vince Hall is not able to participate in the debate for tonight.
After a short delay, the debate did get underway with 8 candidates vying to be the next mayor of CBRM.
I'm kind of the dark horse up here. Not many people know me.
The debate included former Mayor Cecil Clark, Deputy Mayor and Councillor James Edwards, and former Dudon CEO Rankin McSween, along with some candidates running for mayor for the first time.
I also have experience running for council twice. What I don't have is any political baggage.
Property taxes, a new library, and housing were some of the issues discussed. Edwards said in addition to taxes, people want good police and fire service and jobs so they can stay home in CBRM. The hottest topic was about the location of the Ally Centre, though. Kevin McCachran got things started, saying the drug harm reduction facility should not be downtown. Cecil Clark agreed, saying the centre and the homeless shelter on Townsend Street should both be moved to different locations.
People are feeling unsafe downtown Sydney. Seniors, Club 55, damages and concerned. Youth are scared. Newcomers.
McSween, who ran twice against Clark, said it reminded him of how Member 2 First Nation was moved off of Sydney Harbour, calling the idea of relocating the facilities shameful. More than 500 people attended the more than 2-hour-long event, many leaving with different opinions.
They all came out with some good ideas and very respectful. They touched on a lot of things that I was thinking about and I'm hoping that they were going to talk about.
I guess you could say I learned some more about some of the candidates and their positions, because it's a good opportunity for that. I have to confess I'm still not totally decided on who I'll vote for.
They're forgetting about the north side. Nobody's talked about the north side, what they can do for us over there. Everything is all about Sydney.
The public will begin to have their say when voting opens on Thursday. The municipal election is scheduled for October 19th. Kyle Moore, CBC News, Sydney.
New Glasgow police have launched a fraud investigation after getting a report that money went missing from the bank account of Tim Houston's Pictou East Riding Association. Houston revealed the news today after finding out about the situation on Monday. The Premier would not say how much money was taken, but says it is in the thousands of dollars. Gareth Hampshire has the latest.
Premier Tim Houston said today he's personally hurt after finding out about this situation. He said he reported this to police immediately on Monday when he learned that funds had been taken from the local Progressive Conservative Party Riding Association, where he is the MLA. We don't have a lot of details because the Premier said he cannot say much to protect the integrity of the investigation, but what he did say is money was taken from the association's bank account without authorization.
I can't even begin to explain the incredible level of betrayal that I feel and that my riding executive feels about this matter. I have a wide range of emotions, as you can imagine. Of course, I'm angry, I'm sad, I'm hurt, disappointed. But most of all, I'm just really devastated for the volunteers for the association who work so hard.
At this stage, it is not clear how long this has been going on, and that is something officials are now trying to determine. While he is not providing the name of the person that has been reported, Premier Houston said it is a local volunteer who he's known since around 2011, and that's what makes this even harder for him.
It's this is why the betrayal is significant. It's somebody that's been known to me for a long time.
Elections Nova Scotia has been notified as well. The person in question does not have any other status within the PC party or the government. Houston said he has not spoken to the person but wants accountability for what happened. He describes this as a financial setback for the riding too, where volunteers work hard to raise funds, and going forward, says the party will look at what it might be able to do to prevent this kind of thing in the future.
Nobody wants this to happen. I certainly don't want this to happen. So I think through the investigation, as we understand more about the what and the how, we'll try to understand that and digest it, and obviously if there's anything that can be done, it will be done.
New Glasgow police say the case has been turned over to their major crime unit and is an active fraud investigation. Police say the investigation is in the early stages. Gareth Hampshire, CBC News, Halifax.
Well, he's already been in the job for more than a year, but now it's official. Don McLean was sworn in this morning as chief of the Halifax Regional Police. Blair Rhodes reports.
But I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the significance of today's ceremony to the city's history, as well the swearing in of our first African Nova Scotian Chief of Police for Halifax Regional Police.
The historic significance of McLean's appointment was not lost on people in the room. He's already had an impact. This was a low point for Halifax Regional Police when members clashed with homeless demonstrators. McLean is taking a different approach, but he wouldn't commit to an apology for that episode.
It would be premature for me to speak about that. We're going to look at that, the entirety of the recommendations that report holistically, and we're going to come back to the Board of Police Commissioners, and that's the best place to have that conversation.
McLean was also lauded for restoring relations with rank-and-file members of the force, which had hit a low point under his predecessor.
My focus was re-engaging with our memberships. Our membership was on building the best relationship we can have with our members, with our unions, with the community, with the public.
McLean says he recognizes his appointment can serve as inspiration, especially to young black men. But he also shows that he remains grounded.
Amazing singing, the reverend speaking, nice things said about you. I said, this is like going to your own funeral, but you're still alive.
Blair Rhodes, CBC News, Halifax.
There are some anxious days ahead for growers hoping to take home the title of PEI's biggest pumpkin. Nancy Russell checks in with some of them ahead of Saturday's Way Off at Cool Breeze Farms in Summerside.
This season hasn't gone as planned for Gordon Ayton. He's been competing for almost 3 decades. Many years he has been a contender. But this season, an infestation of bugs has squashed his hopes of winning.
My pumpkin started out great, but then I got the squash beetle. I've had the cucumber beetle before, but not the squash beetle. That's something new, totally new for me.
Ayton did his best to battle the beetles, but in the end, he was left with a much smaller pumpkin than he had hoped for.
I'm left with the best looking pumpkin category.
Here at Laughing Lavender Farm, Nicole Rogers is trying her hand at growing giant pumpkins for the first time, with seeds given to her by Gordon Ayton. The pumpkin is named for him, Gourdon, that is. Rogers has also had challenges this season from dogs.
In mid-July, I was harvesting lavender and happened to look over to the pumpkin patch and saw them feasting on something. And when I went over, I found they had pulled about 4 feet off the main vine and were having a great snack.
Rogers is nervous about finally snipping the giant pumpkin off the vine, but ready for the Way Off.
It's going to be exciting. It's my first year growing, and so it'll let me know how I did and what I need to do to beat next year.
So you're definitely going to be back?
Yes. If you asked me at different times in the summer, I would have said, oh my God, I don't think I'm going to do this again. But yeah, I'm hooked.
This may be the pumpkin to beat this year. Her name is Priscilla. Last year, Mark Tremere also thought he had a winner, but was disqualified.
Down around where it meets the soil, I was compromised with some decaying and decomposition into the pumpkin. And as I investigated, it slowly made its way into the cavity. At that point, you're disqualified from the competition.
The disqualified pumpkin weighed in at 1,240 pounds and would have been a winner. Tremere is hoping for better luck this year, aiming for a top 3 finish. As for Gordon Ayton,
bugs, weeds, hot weather, too much rain, wind, and frost. Yep, that's got it.
But you still do it.
Yep, always next year. Next year and a bit of luck, I'll have the champion next year.
Nancy Russell, CBC News, Springvale.
Well, they're growing big in PEI, but they grow them pretty nicely in Onslow. Colchester County as well. There's a pumpkin view for you. Pretty nice day there. Ryan back with the full weather forecast in just a few minutes. All right, of course, all eyes on Florida tonight, awaiting the arrival of Milton. Incredible how fast this storm formed, and then, of course, the potential damage that it could cause in the state of Florida.
Yeah, and it is weakening, but still going to be a very, very powerful storm. Category 3 rolling in as we speak. And again, it's such a large storm. It's already underway, as we can see with the radar here. That rain spreading across most of the state of Florida already. And you can see with the radar there, the center of that storm clearly defined, and you can see the eye of that storm now approaching the coast of Florida. And again, it is looking set to make landfall south of Tampa, likely right near the Sarasota area. You can see those winds are already picking up. St. Pete's gusting to 102 at last check. Orlando gusting to 70. Venice 90. Fort Myers 80. And again, those winds are only going to pick up as the storm gets closer. You can see how widespread those winds are going to be tonight with those hurricane force gusts at the very least. and we'll be seeing the Tampa, Sarasota down to Fort Myers area bearing the brunt of that wind, although widespread, impactful, damaging winds, across a good portion of the state, as you saw there. And so it'll take weeks for the outages to be restored. You can see flash flood risk here. Tampa to Orlando, as we mentioned earlier, could see 450 millimeters of rain locally. And with all the debris from Helene and then the debris that's still to come from this storm, it's going to be very impactful. 2 to 3 meters here for Tampa. This is actually going to be 3 to 4 meters here in this stretch, Venice, including Sarasota down to Boca Grande, and then 2.5 to 3.5 meters, including for the Fort Myers area. So that storm surge is going to be so impactful for sure. Now, couple of radar shots for us here before we get to the weather systems. And there is, again, the storm. And now we'll zoom in locally, and you can see this area of high pressure, which is not really going to stay kind of anchored here. We've got this cold pool of air aloft and this upper level low that is basically going to be influencing our weather for the next handful of days, right through the Thanksgiving weekend. Not a washout, but one of those stretches where we're going to have to keep an eye on the radar. You can see some showers pushing into the Yarmouth-Digby area as expected today, and that is going to be pushing its way eastward. The winds, not too gusty for us. Tonight, they'll remain relatively light. We're going to be seeing temperatures dropping into the 6-7 range for most, a little milder along parts of the coast, near that double-digit mark. Watch the timeline of this. So those showers marching eastward by midnight, certainly into the Halifax area, into Cape Breton just before morning. Tomorrow, we're going to be looking at, again, this weak little load that's going to be developing, surface low. And with that, we're going to be continuing to see these potential showers for Cape Breton, Guysborough, Antigonish, Pictou counties. Slight risk for churro back towards Halifax and even Kentville, but the greatest risk is going to be here across Cape Breton and towards the eastern parts of the mainland. The winds will become northwesterly into the afternoon for Nova Scotia, or for Cape Breton rather, and for the entire province, really, those winds will be picking up from the northwest throughout the afternoon, sustained in the 10 to 20 kilometer per hour range. Could see some gusts that do exceed that, especially down towards the Yarmouth, Digby, Shelburne areas where the winds are going to be punching in a little stronger. Friday, a more widespread northwest wind near 15 to 20 kilometers per hour, and we'll be seeing those gusts perhaps up as strong as 30 kilometers per hour. So it is going to be a breezy Friday, and that will impact temperatures. Double digits barely for places like New Glasgow and the Northumberland shore. We will squeak up towards 13 degrees in Yarmouth. So that upper level low kind of anchored above Newfoundland and Labrador, and that's just the driving force. There's the Friday forecast with those showers again in the north and east. A bit of a break Friday night into early Saturday, keeping an eye on this weak low that's going to be kind of riding along the southern part of that low anchored over Labrador. That will squeak through on Saturday. Again, the greatest risk will be the northeast for showers with that. That will depart. That is going to allow things to clear for Sunday. Looks like a mix of sun and cloud. Clouds may dominate at times, but Sunday looks dry. And then we're looking at that chance for showers really ramping up again for holiday Monday, Tom, with the kind of widespread showers. Also for New Brunswick and PEI, if you're going to be traveling, Monday will be a wet day across the region.
Bit of a mix there for sure. Okay, yeah. Ryan, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Coming up, Nova Scotia is building a massive wind farm, but where that energy is going is causing some to question the plan. It's a place with some of the world's finest winds, coveted for their clean, invisible energy. A place where people want to go green, but they just can't agree on how to get there. I'm here on the remote back roads of Guysborough County where the potholes are plentiful to find out why a plan to construct what has been described as the largest onshore wind farm in the Western Hemisphere may not end up making Nova Scotia as green as you might think. That's because that wind will be used to make green hydrogen that will be shipped to Germany, leading some to ask the question, should this province be greening the globe or greening Canada first? Karen McNulty lives in tiny Port Shoreham. It's in this northeastern corner of the province that Everwind Fuels wants to erect up to 400 turbines in this county, doubling the number already in all of Nova Scotia. Some of those turbines could be about 2 kilometers from McNulty's house.
It's like a freight train. You've got a lot of the federal government and the federal and provincial government just pushing this through.
Everwind will use the wind to power a green hydrogen production facility, a massive $8 billion undertaking. It's not that McNulty and others are against wind energy. It's the scale of the project that troubles them, and the fact that the wind power will not be primarily used to help green Nova Scotia's grid or help Canada meet its own climate targets.
Green Nova Scotia first. There's no if, buts, or maybes about that. It's our resource.
And we need some big projects and some big solutions to climate change.
But Brendan Chard, Vice President of Power at Everwind, promises jobs and tax revenue.
Well, this is really a transformational opportunity. We have a tremendous wind regime here. We can be global leaders in green hydrogen and ammonia production. And the benefits that will bring to our First Nations partners, to local communities where we're operating, to the province, the economic opportunity is immense.
Why not green Nova Scotia first?
Well, we don't see it as an either-or situation. We can do both. It's one planet with one climate. And whether we're offsetting carbon emissions in Nova Scotia or Germany or Japan or anywhere around the globe, it's helping to fight climate change. Now, that said, we're creating a product that will have uses here in Nova Scotia. And we really want to see as much of our product used here in Atlantic Canada as possible. And that could be through a peaking fuel used by the utilities to produce electricity when there isn't wind or solar available.
So there could be some backup use of the company's wind energy. And as for green hydrogen, no one uses it here now. But that doesn't trouble landowner Wayne Simpson, who would like to lease his land to Everwind.
We as a society tend not to look into the future. We're looking at right now and what it's going to do for me, and to heck with everything else. And that's never been my way. And if we're even a small part of it, it's a help. And if it's helping the world, it's helping us.
Well, we have a limited amount of land. We're the second smallest province in the country.
Raymond Plord of the Ecology Action Centre argues Nova Scotia needs to look at the most efficient use of the wind.
The efficiency rates when you use wind directly into your energy grid is very high, in the neighborhood of 80 to 90% efficient, meaning the wind generated and the electrons produced go to the grid and are usable. Green hydrogen, at best, is going to be 50% efficient, meaning you get a 50% loss immediately, and it provides no benefit to Nova Scotia's grid and reducing our reliance on fossil fuels. And the highest and best use, and experts around the world agree with this, is to use wind energy locally.
The province says it has its own plan to green the Nova Scotia grid, and it believes there's more than enough wind left to do it. Besides, it says it needs companies like Everwind to jumpstart a new era in energy here.
So by building these projects, especially with long-term contracts with European entities, we're able to develop this industry and have that product available at a lower cost for local uses as the demand increases.
I don't remember where the public consultation was on that. I don't know where Nova Scotians were asked, is this okay? Is this a good thing?
Whose wind is it?
Well, it's a great question. We see it as it's Nova Scotia's wind. But it's also, again, one climate.
It matters because the war in Ukraine has Europe looking at its energy security, and Canada could be a big source for them. Already, there are now 3 international companies preparing to build large wind farms in Nova Scotia. And Jonathan Wilkinson, the Federal Minister of Energy and Natural Resources, says get ready for more of it.
That resource exists out there right now, but nobody's monetizing that. Nobody has a way in which to actually make use of it. But those that are actually thoughtful about how do you actually extract value from it are going to be winners from an economic perspective.
All of this has Karen McNulty rethinking her life. You're thinking about maybe not being here if they come?
If there's 274 plus 400 and some, plus some up to, I may just not. But then again, if you sell your property at this point, where do you go? Where can you afford to go?
For all the uncertainty, it appears this much is true. When it comes to this province's energy future, there's big change in the wind. And as the world looks for green energy, consider the latest report from the International Coalition of Climate Scientists that has been checking the Earth's vital signs. Their diagnosis is not good. The researchers looked at 35 factors that contribute to climate change. They found 25 of them are now at record levels, up from 20 last year.
We're having these heat waves and floods and hurricanes, and they're becoming more frequent and more intense and leaving trails of devastation worldwide.
A key measure is ocean temperatures, which are rising. That contributes to the formation and severity of hurricanes. Other factors monitored include fossil fuel consumption, global tree cover loss, and methane emissions. The report shows greenhouse gas emissions have never been higher, driven mainly by the use of fossil fuels. The report also shows some improvements. More energy is coming from renewable sources such as wind and solar, and forest loss in the Brazilian Amazon is declining. Coming up, Hurricane Milton sets a collision course with the Florida Gulf Coast. And Israel continues to target southern Lebanon while Hezbollah rockets kill 2 in northern Israel as the conflict continues. Welcome back. As we've been telling you, Hurricane Milton is now just hours away from making landfall in western Florida. Top officials say the damage could be catastrophic after it hits late tonight or early tomorrow. Katie Simpson has spent the day near Orlando as residents prepare for the worst.
Now come along with me. We're going to show you what preparations look like. Right now we're in a mobile home park and you can see some of the trailers have been boarded up. This is an area that police tell us is known to be flooded. And so people are taking some precautions. There are some people who've left the area, but we've got wooden planks up on some of the trailers here, and we've got another one just over here, just to give you a sense of what it looks like in some of these neighborhoods where really dangerous conditions are expected to roll through. The most serious effects of this storm are going to be in the Gulf Coast, the Tampa Bay, Sarasota areas. That's where there's life-threatening storm surge, hurricane force winds. There is so much concern. Authorities have warned people that if they did not follow those evacuation orders, if they do need help, help might not be able to get there. They're describing it as a catastrophic situation, and they are concerned that it will be deadly for those that did not follow those evacuation orders. Here in Orlando, when you talk to the people who are either hunkering down or planning on going to shelters, there's a real mix sort of people that we've spoken to today, and you can tell that there is really a sense of unease heading into Milton.
A little nervous. I see all these houses boarded up and we have not done anything because I didn't think it was going to hit Central Florida, as everyone is now saying.
Are you nervous at all?
No, not at all. I've been through enough of them that we'll be okay. I know we're getting 100-mile-an-hour winds, but I think this house can withstand it.
It's my first time. I don't feel afraid. God knows what she's doing. You have to go through.
This is expected to be a once-in-a-lifetime type of storm. The hurricane strength winds, the storm surge. There's also the concern of tornadoes. People are being urged to stay indoors and wait for this storm to pass, and it's expected to be an incredibly difficult 48 hours for the state of Florida. Katie Simpson, CBC News, outside of Orlando, Florida.
Many environmental ingredients go into creating a hurricane, but scientists say one ingredient has been pushing recent storms to new limits, and that's ocean heat. Anand Ram now on what some are calling a marine heat wave.
Milton started as a growl in the Gulf of Mexico, and within 2 days became a terrifying roar, the fastest shift from tropical depression to Category 5 hurricane ever seen there.
2 days later, we were at 180 miles per hour winds. That kind of intensification is just extremely rare, if not unheard of.
It has dropped 50 millibars in 10 hours.
That speed leaving seasoned weather watchers speechless.
I apologize. This is just horrific.
And what's feeding the beast? What fed Hurricane Helene just before it? Record ocean heat. This is the global average sea surface temperatures for roughly the last 30 years. But in 2023 and 2024, every month the heat has surpassed that by a huge margin. And zooming into the Gulf of Mexico, it's more intense. 2024's heat so far, higher than the last decade. And a few degrees matter.
Small differences in temperature, boom, big differences in the amount of water vapor that's getting put into the atmosphere. And that water vapor is really the fuel of the storm.
The other conditions that let Milton rage was a lack of other weather patterns, slower winds, air offering less resistance to the rapidly forming vortex. Watching that build up especially troubling for those in the hurricane's path.
Especially for the area that I grew up in, I feel it's very heavy.
And climate scientists link the warm oceans that supercharged Milton to the planet-warming effect from burning fossil fuels.
It traps energy around the planet close to the surface and warms up our air temperatures. But that also contributes to that heat getting eventually down into the ocean.
And as Florida braces for the full might of Milton, researchers with World Weather Attribution are already looking at how much of its scale and ferocity was caused by climate change. That analysis expected within days. Anand Ram, CBC News, Toronto.
To the Middle East now, Israel and Hezbollah continue to trade fire across the Lebanon border. And on both sides of that border today, there were more casualties. Chris Brown reports from the northern Israeli city of Haifa.
In Israel's north, alerts from incoming Hezbollah missiles were constant, with the streaks of Israeli interceptors filling the skies, knocking out most, but not all. The worst damage was in Kiryat Shimona, where a couple reportedly out walking their dog was killed. And in Haifa, 5 people were sent to hospital with injuries. Our CBC News team visited the scene of an earlier strike that knocked a hole in the roof of an apartment building, leaving missile fragments everywhere but not causing any injuries. There was a big noise and a lot of dust, said the maintenance manager, who'd been in the apartment 30 seconds before. People can't live here because they're afraid to come back and sleep here. From the owner of the fishing shop below, we heard support for Israel's actions against Hezbollah in Lebanon. I think this is very good, he said. What did Netanyahu say? This is for generations to come, that there won't be any wars anymore. But just seconds later, more alarms and more missiles, with our team taking shelter in the walk-in refrigerator of the grocery shop next door. Since Israel launched its ground invasion of Lebanon, the Haifa area, 40 kilometers south of the border in Israel's third largest city, has become one of Hezbollah's key targets. After having much of its leadership assassinated by Israel, Hezbollah has attempted to project strength with its mass rocket fires and by claiming that Israeli troops have made little progress on the ground.
The country should be very concerned.
Ehud Omer is a former Israeli prime minister. He negotiated Israel's exit from the last war with Lebanon in 2006, and he fears the cost of defeating Hezbollah militarily is too high.
Are we ready to have 100 missiles, rockets shot at Israeli civilian centers every day with more than 1 million people sitting in shelters for the whole day? I mean, what is the strategy?
In Lebanon, Israel's air assault has been unrelenting, with at least 4 people killed near Sidon at a building housing displaced families, according to the local mayor. Chris Brown, CBC News, in Haifa.
The 2024 Nobel Prize in Chemistry has been awarded to a trio of researchers for their work on proteins, the building blocks of life.
The Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences has today decided to award the 2024 Nobel Prize in Chemistry with one half to David Baker, University of Washington, USA, for computational protein design, and the other half jointly to Demis Hassabis and John Jumper, Google DeepMind, United Kingdom, for protein structure prediction.
American biochemist David Baker of the University of Washington was awarded half of the $1 million prize for his work on protein design. The other half of the award goes to a pair of AI pioneers at Google DeepMind in London. Their AI model, called AlphaFold, has been credited with creating a data-driven revolution in biology and chemistry. It's used to predict the structure of hundreds of millions of proteins. Anti-tobacco groups want Canada's addictions minister to resign. They say the federal government has failed for more than 3 years to regulate vaping. That includes its promise to ban fruity flavors that appeal to young people. Marina von Stackelberg reports.
Many cigarette smokers say vaping has helped them quit. But national statistics show the vast majority of Canadians who start vaping were never smokers in the first place. They are new nicotine users.
They've integrated a toy, essentially, with an addictive product. And it smells, this one is mango.
National health groups say the federal government has failed to deliver on its promise made 3 years ago to ban vaping flavors.
We have over 300,000 Canadian kids using vaping products in Canada. This problem is out of control.
And the main reason they're smoking vaping products is because of all the flavors.
But the vaping industry says fruity vape flavors are what help adults quit smoking.
If someone that smokes and they all of a sudden try a mango flavor, there's no doubt that they would easily transition because it's much more palatable.
Ottawa has also promised to regulate vape designs and packaging and make it harder for minors to buy them. All those regulations were promised this past spring, but that hasn't happened. The health groups say Canada's addictions minister should resign.
The entire regulatory process has been stalled, and it was stalled after meetings with the vaping industry.
Records show Minister Yara Sachs met with the vaping lobby right as the regulations were set to be finalized. After 3 years of consultations, Health Canada now says it needs to do more. In a statement, Sachs's office says, "We have been clear, flavors are going to be restricted, but we need to do this right so that the regulations do not create loopholes that would put our youth further at risk or be hard to enforce." While the federal government consults, some provinces and territories have brought in their own vaping flavor restrictions. But health groups say that's just created a patchwork, with products being shipped across provincial borders. Marina von Stackelberg, CBC News, Ottawa.
The world of rock music has been caught off guard by a star performer's allegations of sexual abuse. They're in a new book, a memoir by Sum 41 singer Derek Whibley. Magda Gabrisalasa has the details.
The faster we're falling, we're stopping, stalling, we're running in circles again.
He's rocked out on some of Canada's biggest stages. Now Derek Whibley is shocking the music world with his new memoir.
There's things in the book that I was like, I thought I would take that to my grave.
The Sum 41 singer alleges he was coerced into a sexual relationship with his former manager, Greg Norrie. But CBC has not independently verified Whibley's allegations. Norrie himself, a big name in the Canadian rock scene, the frontman of Treble Charger. Whibley writes he was just 16, starting out, when Norrie took him under his wing, introducing him to drugs and alcohol, grooming him, Whibley alleges. Then when he was 18, kissing him in a bathroom stall while Whibley was high on ecstasy. He alleges Norrie forced him to continue a sexual relationship for some time, berating Whibley when he tried to end it. I started to unravel mentally and physically, Whibley writes. Music journalist Karen Bliss says she was in the industry at the time.
There's definitely a power difference with a young artist or any artist and someone in a perceived position of power. And maybe it's up to us as adults in the music industry to go to that young person and say, are you okay?
CBC News has not independently verified Whibley's allegations. Greg Norrie has not responded to CBC News' request for comment, but he told the Globe and Mail these are false allegations. He also said he retained a defamation lawyer. Whibley also hasn't spoken with us. His band on their final tour, wrapping up in Toronto in January. Magda Gabrisalasa, CBC News, Toronto.
When Foster Hewitt first shouted, "He shoots, he scores," catching the action was as simple as turning on a radio. This week, a new NHL season rekindles the old excitement. But the days of just flicking a switch are history. Peter Armstrong looks at the fast-changing game of hockey broadcasts.
Opening night, a new season, new hope for fans, a fresh start for teams.
Drops one, shot, score!
And this season, it's not just new teams or new plans. It's new ways to watch as well.
It's a new home for hockey.
Amazon Prime is now streaming some hockey games after making a deal with Rogers.
Look at Cooley go through the middle of the ice.
It's all part of a rapidly changing broadcast landscape. To watch every NHL game this season, you'll need to subscribe to Sportsnet, TSN, TVA, and Amazon Prime.
I think we're headed for an era of greater complication.
Back in 2013, Rogers Communications bought up the exclusive rights to all nationally broadcast NHL games for $5.2 billion. That deal doesn't expire until the end of next season. But NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman says negotiations will start soon, the beginning of 2025, he told the Sports Business Journal last month, adding that Rogers gets first crack at renegotiating its current deal. And that is something Rogers has said it wants to do.
It's something we're very interested in and something we will chase and certainly expect to be at the table.
Second and goal
Experts say other sports leagues have found ways of spreading out broadcast rights over multiple broadcasters and streamers. That drives up the price and makes it harder for fans to even figure out where the game on any given night is being aired.
If you have 6 people that want your product, then you can figure a creative way to give each of the 6 a slice. You will get more than if you charge one the entire amount of money.
And every year, there are more ways to slice that pie. And though some may bemoan the changes,
I think it's actually going to be easier, and they're trying to move the product to where people are, as opposed to trying to preserve an old model.
It's on Monday.
Whether it's the game or the way we watch it, the old model is long gone. And changes to how we watch the game are only starting as the NHL gets closer to a new deal in 2026. Peter Armstrong, CBC News, Toronto.
All right, that time of the show, we get to look at a beautiful pic, no doubt. So many troubling images weather-wise out of Florida the last few days. Hopefully there's something uplifting in your pic tonight.
Yeah, and you know, it's a season of change for sure. Noticing those leaves starting to change and noticing the pictures in the inbox starting to change as well. Have a look at this. Zooming in, Between, basically in the center of the province and the heart of the province is Sherbrooke Lake, and you can see this beautiful shot from David Waterfield.
It's a real spurt of color, isn't it?
It is. Fog adding to that, and a beautiful shot from David. Ryan's picks at cbc.ca. Keep those pictures coming. Thursday, looking at a chance for showers across the board, but the greatest risk will be across Cape Breton and the Northumberland shore. That's where we'll see the best potential for those scattered showers throughout the day, especially for Cape Breton. Temperatures anywhere from 13 to 15 degrees for Cape Breton, but as you can see, 12 to 15 or 14 across the rest of the mainland. Cooler Friday. That northwest wind on Friday is going to be more substantial in the 20 kilometer per hour range, and that's just going to keep things feeling cool. With this cool air mass, it's going to remain unsettled, so we'll run the risk for some pop-up showers for Cape Breton and the eastern parts of the mainland in particular. And yeah, you can see with this kind of low swirling around this cool pool of air, we're just going to be looking at these shower chances continuing to be in the mix, though. The start of Saturday looks okay. That system moves through, and then thankfully Sunday looks okay for Thanksgiving weekend before showers move back in on Monday.
All right, we'll enjoy Sunday for sure. Well, we know a thing or two about ships here. There's no doubt about that. But the world's largest cargo sailing ship has docked in Quebec City. The Animos sailed from Colombia with a load of coffee beans.
Especially on the transoceanic passage. This is where the wind is best understood and best predictable, and where we route the vessel best.
The Animos was launched earlier this year. It's 81 meters long and can reach a speed of 13 knots.
The ship has a cargo capacity of 100 tons and is operated by a crew of 7 sailors. It is outfitted with offshore racing technology. It also has backup diesel engines when the winds are not favorable.
That's a lot of coffee on board, eh?
Yeah.
That's it for us tonight. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Take care.